Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the live stream. We're here for an afternoon session today. Let's see. Anyone who was here at the very end of the morning session, I hope you're in a long right now. I say that because we were looking at this yellow box just before we got off. And I remember I was talking about whether we were going to push through the lower end or the upper end of the box. And I think it's pretty clear. We pushed through the northern end at 1214. Hey, Shark, what's going on? And so if you notice that we pushed through the northern end here and we were here on looking at the 1 minute, I hope you recognize the breaker here. This low, this high. Traded lower, sweeping the low, taking liquidity, trading higher, closing above. Trading back in to consequent encroachment, putting a body on it, only wicks below. And then retesting during the news at 101. Oh, nice, Shark. Good job. Yeah, I would have done the same if I had not made a mistake on my entry. I was trying to enter on an evaluation account and I accidentally entered on a performance account. So I quickly exited. It was in profit, but I exited my performance account. But it didn't return back to my entry for the evaluation account. So I didn't take that one, but I would have liked to. So we'll see if we get something else this afternoon. Oh, okay. Well, good job. Way to grab another one. All right. Did anyone take this long out of this 1 minute breaker from lunch hour? Did anyone take that one? Chariot, I do not trade gold. No, I don't. %99 of my trades are on Nasdaq, and I only really focus on US indices. No gold, no silver, no oil. Okay, 155. Yeah, I think we all have that one marked up as yesterday's high. Or I'm sorry, not yesterday, Friday, but it's also the all-time high. Did we just trade back to this bearish breaker, consequent encroachment? Sure did. We've been bouncing out of this bearish breaker since Friday afternoon. We put in the high you just spoke about, 19,155. Traded lower, made the breaker, confirmed it, and then we've traded back to it several times yesterday and even this morning. Here's another one. They're in London. And then here we are just before lunch, hitting consequent encroachment, trading lower. And now we just hit consequent encroachment once again. All right, the macro is ending now. We're in the final minute. All right, let's drop down and see what the results were of the news event. First news event of the week. So previous was 4.48. Now we're at 4.44. There was no forecast. All right, now if we jump over and we want to look and see how the other indices are performing this morning and through lunch, we can see the dollar is now for the third consecutive hour pushing lower. So we had the lunch hour bearish candle, 11 a.m. bearish candle. So 10 pushed up. Yeah, I thought maybe we'd find something that it traded to that made it push lower. All right, during lunch, we saw, so the Dow pushed lower into a bullish fair value gap, same one that we saw during the 9 and 10 o'clock hour that pushed price a little higher. So we just made a revisit there. Did it on the Dow. We did not do that on the S&P, and we definitely didn't do that on Nasdaq either. Nasdaq has been the strongest of the three this morning, followed by the S&P and the Dow being the weakest. So now on the hourly, we have equal highs at 135 here on Nasdaq that we would like to see price trade through. We have the same thing on the S&P 500 that we also want to see price trade through. Now on S&P, we do have a 1 hour bearish fair value gap above that may hold price or push it lower. So we want to pay attention to that. But we don't have the same obstacles over here on Nasdaq. It's just basically up to 155, which was previous all-time high. And then we'll see what type of fib extension we can take from there to see what price may want to trade to. But all right, so that's what we have. Get back over. Hello, Mags. What's up, DB? Thank you. Yep, this may actually be the time that we trade through this breaker. It eventually has to fail. It won't hold price forever. And we've seen that we've traded to it and rejected from it approximately 5 times already. I want to remind everyone there's about 11 hours left on the Apex promotion for the 250,000 account, 90% off, and 1 day to pass are the parameters. Yeah, it does. So if they both are going for buy side, then Nasdaq may grab buy side and then consolidate a bit, whereas wait for ES to catch up. So there may be more upside on ES. Yeah, you're right, Malad. I'm not looking for a position at all, Tyria. The position's already gone. The entry was here in this breaker during lunch or right at 1 o'clock. So I am not looking for a position. Oh, awesome, Marlene. Excellent. Uh, oh, it's a potential target. Oh, you joined late. Yeah, I think most people are looking for right here, 19,155, which is the all-time high, but also it was the high of this past Friday. So I would have been looking for a 50-point trade, which would have taken from approximately here during lunch hour, right around 12:20. It traded back in. So I think I was looking at 134 as an exit. Yeah, it would have been like right here for me. I was not able to enter this trade because I was not sitting at my desk during lunch. So I completely missed out. It traded back in at 1 o'clock when the news was released. It didn't quite get to consequent encroachment, but it did trade back into the 1 minute breaker. Let me just move the 5 minute off. The 1 minute breaker, which is this blue area here, it traded right back inside for an entry from there. But yeah, buy side liquidity is right here at 19,155. Got on the buy, made huge money. All right. Wow. Okay, cool. So we got a Marlene, if you have multiple contracts, then when this area right here was taken, this would have been a good place to take some of your trade off and put some of that profit in your pocket, and then let the rest of it see if it'll run up to 155. But when you have these kind of highs that it takes, you want to make sure that you're banking some of your profits there. Okay, what's up, Jr. Pauletta? Pauletta, I think I saw a message from you just as I was getting off earlier. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you said you had met your goal for the day on your evaluation account. is at 193. Not necessarily too aggressive, but it is 40 points higher than the all-time high. So it's possible that it could reach up there. But it's also sometimes what'll happen is it'll beat the all-time high by just a handful of points and then turn around and start retracing. So you do want to be careful when you reach the all-time high, which is at 155. If you have multiple positions, then you will likely want to take something off at that point. But I don't think it's too high. I just can't say for sure if it's going to reach it. Oh, I see. Okay, you're working on 250s, but you're on your 250. You already met your TP and payout target. Awesome. Awesome. It's amazing. Yep. If we make it up there, and you say you have 19,193. All right. I'm showing one standard deviation from the retracement earlier this morning between 9:30 and 10 takes me to 180, 180 and a half. You're trading into the fair value you got right here. Let's see now if price turns around and sweeps this high at 142. Mm. Still have our indices are not in line or not aligned. What's up? Welcome back, Kevin. Hey, Queen, I know you said you were leaving, had an appointment. Good to have you. Hey, DB. Took a small one. All right, let's see where you're taking it to. Are you just taking it to 140 or are you looking further than that? $142. Okay. Good luck on your entry there. Yeah, you're right. So far, you got 10 already. It was a fair value gap here. So the first thing it did was close that off. So that's a good sign. Now you want to see if it can trade higher than that. Yep. All right. So I hope, I know my screen looks a little cluttered here with all the blue boxes with the breakers here everywhere. But I hope that you're able to see how price moved with those breakers. So we start here at the 5 minute when it was confirmed here on this candle at 1035. Price didn't return immediately. It took off. So unless you got into a market execution, you would have missed this move on its way up. But then it ran into a bearish breaker from Friday, which then started the gradual descent of price back down to trade back into this. So you just have to be patient. It confirmed and it ran away, but you know it's going to come back. But it took an hour. It took an hour for it to trade back down, and it had to hit a bearish breaker for that to work. But it did trade back down, and it hit consequent encroachment once again at 1150, which, as we all know, is during the macro. So it hit a bullish breaker supported by a bullish fair value gap below during the macro to go long. From there, price started to work its way up, and if you were on a lower time frame because we were in the macro, you would have seen the 1 minute set up itself and confirm. Trade back in, hit consequent encroachment, trade out, news came, hit the breaker one more time, and then it was gone. In this last push out of the 1 minute breaker, which came also out of the 5 minute breaker, we confirmed this breaker. On the move down, we had a low to a high, lower low, and now on this move back up, we got a confirmation here on the 5 minute that this is now a bullish breaker. Traded back down, and now we see price supporting it coming out. We'll see how high it goes. Obviously, the higher price moves up and more breakers are confirmed, you can't take them for as far as you could if you would have gotten in down here. So they end up being worth less in the grand scheme of things, or I would trust them less as far as going along, going the distance. I mean, but for the same target, if my target was making it to buy side liquidity here at 155, you still have the same target. You just got a confirmation of a new entry here if you weren't already in. Hopefully you got in down here, and if you didn't get in there, you got in down here, which was even better. But as price works up, you can still find another way to get in and still grab you 10, 20, 30 points out of the market. But the one thing that must happen is we have to invalidate this bearish breaker here, which is held price since Friday. At some point that needs to be invalidated. All right, Shark, good job. 2 in a day. Nice. Guys, I noticed a lot of you are asking, what are we looking for? Where are we going? What are we looking for? Where are we going? I noticed that's a common question. Try to resist always looking for the next setup without understanding where we're coming from. That's probably the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out where's price coming from right now. You see where it is and you say, okay, what was the start of this leg? Where did we come from? And the start of that leg is from down here. And then if you want to look even deeper and zoom out even more, this was a retracement coming from this leg down here. So when you start figuring out where we came from and figuring out and thinking about where price might want to trade to, right? We're very close to where price wants to trade to, and it may be the end of the day. It could be the high that we just took, could have been as much as they wanted to do. If that's not it, it could have been here. Buy side liquidity at 155. And if you zoom all the way out, that's the all-time high. So try to resist the urge to always want to be in a position. That's the easiest way to lose, is to always want to trade. Yeah, and if you identified either here or here as where price wants to go, then you know we're almost there and we're towards the end. So there is no entry to be made. The last one I showed you right here is the most recent one and probably the last one, and it'll only take you to here, which is 35 points or so. And from there, then it's price discovery. We don't have any, there aren't any other candles to look at once we pass that point. So we're just looking at standard deviations of this morning's move or yesterday's move or something. And so we'll see if price wants to go there. But that's going to be a riskier move. So just understand that. Pauletta, are you still in your long or did you exit when it retraced? Way to go, DB. Good job. Still in the long. Excellent. All right. So we finally traded out of this bearish breaker. If I'm not mistaken, it's the first time we've done that. Yep. First time we've done it since it was created. Let's see if we can close above and take this June 7th high. This week's high. Slim, yes, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at June 7th lunch high, which is also the all-time high. So it's the previous week's high. It's Friday's high. It's the all-time high. It's all those things in one. It's also buy side liquidity right in front of us, about 8 points away. We'll at least retrace to 142, possibly 137, and let's see if price pushes higher from there. Rejection block. Trying to remember what that is exactly. Hang on, give me a second. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a mitigation block. I could be wrong. I remember when ICT taught those, and I went through and looked at the videos because they weren't that long. Because it was mitigation, rejection, and propulsion. I think were all taught like back to back to back. And yeah, memory slips me. I can't say for sure. But one thing that does happen, Kevin, is there are two areas that gets traded to. First area gets traded to is this wick. So what happens sometimes, what you'll see is it'll come down, trade to that wick, and go up a little bit, and then it'll come back down, and this time it'll pass the wick, and it'll trade down, and it will go down to this level here, this candle as being the last candle that traded lower before everything went higher, and we swept this high. So then you'll get it trading down to that level. And in this case, we saw it do both in one swoop. But let me hope that makes sense, Kevin. I did the same thing here when this swing high was taken over by this candle. All right, we had a swing high here. On its way down, it'll first tap the bar there, but then next it wants to come and get the candle that sent price higher. So it was this one. And in this case, it came down for both. I didn't quite get it. I think it's just a point away or so. So it didn't quite touch there, but it got mostly the way down there. So after it took off again, you can expect it not to trade back down. But those are the kind of things you watch when you see price moving, when it takes a high. And that was always the problem if you enter a trade once the highest is taken, because then it starts to trade back down and you're automatically in drawdown to start off. And that makes some people nervous. But that's the whole break and retest strategy that some people use. Protected low here on the 5 minute, Robin. Okay, let me find it. Oh, Robin always coming with the good questions. Let's see where we are. All right, so we've been bullish for quite some time. All right, so this was a protected high. We swoop up higher, closed above, made this the protected low. Retrace. Then we close higher than this. We sure did. All right, Robin, protected low is now here. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Jeez. Oh, no, it's here. 107, 19107. Yeah, because this right here, it's slight, but it was a closure above this swing high, which brought it up to here. Then we got another retracement, and then it traded higher and closed above this high. And so now our protected low is here, 19107. No, that's an excellent question, Robin. The reason why it's so good is because that level is too close for comfort. A trade down, we might see is just a retracement. But if it gets below here and closes, now we're talking about going lower. And if you miss that, price takes off without you. You get into a long down here saying, oh, okay, I'm at consequent encroachment. Let's enter. Price trades below here and then does this. And next thing you know, you lost your trade almost immediately. Okay, so you're still down here. Got it. Okay. And that was when it confirmed here at the 1310 candle. So right after the news event. So we had external liquidity taken when it swept that high. Trade back to internal liquidity, which was a fair value gap. Went right back to external liquidity to sweep this high. And now we're looking for internal liquidity now. So it'll either, let me get rid of some of these lines so we can see where price is going. It will either take half of this wick as internal liquidity or force its way down here to this fair value gap. Then we have a slight volume imbalance right here. If it gets below this volume imbalance, then you should be nervous about longs. All right, we're in the macro now, actually. Forgot all about that. Yep, it is the low between the two valid highs. You're right, Robin. It is. So when you had this high at 11 and the next valid high was over here. So that low was down here, like you said, the 1150 candle. But you made a new valid high here at 135. So now you have the previous valid high and then the new one. And so now you got to go to the low in between, which is now here. Oh, you're saying the lowest low. Yeah, this is the lowest low between those two. But that's if you're not, are you not counting this one here? You didn't count this as a high after it broke this one. All right, I felt like during the macro, we'd take that high just because good things happen during the macro. Let's see if we can get up there. All right, we're about 2.5 points away. Go ahead and get up there. Anyone in a trade with multiple contracts, consider how much you want to take off here, if any. There it is, all-time high. Now we're in price discovery. We've never been at this level before, so we want to see where price wants to go. I previously marked out 180 as a level. Yep, exactly. So this is a time where we want to look to see if there's going to be a bearish setup. Now that we've reached an all-time high, essentially sweeping liquidity. Any shorts from that level have now just been liquidated. And this is why you expect for price to trade lower. Yep, it did go to 162. You're right. Are you still in your long, DB? All right, Sport Hub says 200. Shark says 170. I said 180. Oh, you know what? I didn't mark up our session high from lunch. All right, let me go and look back and see what the lunch high was. So the lunch high was here, which we took at 138, and that was at 19,142. So that was the level that DB wanted. He wanted the 142, which was the lunch high. And of course, we know the lunch low is down here. Here. Anyone was on a lower time frame and you missed this 5-minute breaker entry here at 113. 19,113 is the level. The time was 113.25. If you had missed that entry and it traded higher, then you also got on the 1 minute. You got a breaker here, which confirmed here at 138 when the lunch high was taken. Traded back in, hit consequent encroachment, and then off it was moving. So you can just follow up the chart until you reach your pool of liquidity. In this case was 19,155. But entering here at 19,142, you're talking about a 13-point move. That was all you were really expecting, unless you could get in at consequent encroachment, which would have given you a 25-point move. So you just, your target remains the same. Your entry point is just higher the more you follow up the chain. But there are other entries to be had. Just be careful if you employ that strategy. It's always better to get in below and have a cushion. Got out at 152, all contracts. Excellent. Right, DB. So you took partials at the level you want to get out, and then you left some and you got an extra 10 handles. Good job. Yeah, well, FOMC could be a double move. So it could go down 100, 200 points, wherever we have levels that we didn't trade to. For sure, during FOMC, we're going to revisit last Wednesday. So everyone take a look before tomorrow at the levels from last Wednesday when we had the bullish run where price just had, on the hourly chart, I think it was 11 consecutive bullish candles. So all of those levels, all those fair value gaps that were created will need to be traded back into. And it won't trade into all of them, but most likely it'll trade into 70, 80% of them. So that's a level I'm looking at for price to trade into tomorrow. Now that could be the retracement tomorrow during CPI in the morning, that then we see FOMC push price higher. Or if we see the opposite, where CPI in the morning, we see price go higher, then at FOMC, we can see price push lower into that level in the afternoon. So we'll keep that in mind. But tomorrow, I'm definitely expecting that level to be touched. Yep, could be for sure. All right, so here on the 1 minute, we have our protected low is here at 107. So the same as what we had on the 5-minute. Actually, let me take that back. I think I'm mistaken. Nope, it's here at 130. Protected low is here at 130. Dollar still pushing lower. So with that, if it's going to continue lower, then I would expect us to continue higher at least a little bit. So those 170, 180, and 200 levels that has been predicted by several members in this group could actually happen this afternoon. But we'll have to continue to follow price to see if that does happen. But it's possible. Yep. You called it, Milad. You definitely called it. Said that 9:30 to 10:30 probably set the low of the day, and sure enough, it did. Right, Shark. There's your 170. Right, Pauletta. We're getting close to 180. Yep, dollar still pushing lower, so I feel confident in the 180. It needs to go ahead and get up there though. Maybe the last 15 seconds of this candle. M, are you telling me or are you asking me? Got all the way to 178. All right, let's see if this little cluster of candles, these two, holds price here and sends it higher. Okay, we lost the level. We lost this level right here at 160. Retest the previous high. All right, looks like at least in the short term, 178 is our high. Um, it could be a classic sell day tomorrow, M. It could be. But you could also argue that the manipulation was the price move down this morning to push lower, which then saw price then push higher. So you could argue that this is distribution that we're in right now. Right, let me go and look at the daily here, or the 4 hours. 4 hours probably better. Right. And the thing is also, if you look at if I'm looking at the 4 hour, right, and it's probably the same on the 1 hour. We had late last week, especially Wednesday, where price just pushed higher and higher and higher. So we had a big bullish expansion. We've pretty much been in consolidation since. And before the next expansion, we have consolidation. So we could actually be starting an expansion leg now. So I'm not willing to say that this is manipulation pushing price higher. But when we get into tomorrow, we'll look and see what the rest of this afternoon did. We'll look and see what tonight does and the London session tomorrow morning. And then what is the 8:30 news, the CPI? Where does it send price? And then from there, we'll gauge how we want to address the market tomorrow. You just got a third one? All right, Shark. Sweet. Look at that. You got two this afternoon and one this morning. Congrats. Yep. And M, I'm not trying to say that you were wrong. I'm just saying that I'm not 100% sure. Since the start of lunch, look, it just looks pretty straightforward. Even though I definitely wouldn't have predicted that would have happened. Okay, I see. Okay, so you replaced the one that you lost this morning, and then you added two others. Well, that seems like a good day to me. All right, so it looks like we're keeping our candle bodies above the previous high. So let's see if that stays, and we can see price push higher. Got another 3 minutes on this candle. All right, everyone in the room now, if you can support the channel by hitting the thumbs up button, hit the thumbs up, please. All right, I'll end the poll here. It looks like the numbers have, for the most part, stayed about the same, even though we've gotten several more people to vote. So we got 60 people to vote, which was good. I feel like that was a great number. Um, and since the percentages stayed the same, that tells me that that's likely, most likely, the percentage of people that are doing and percentage that are not. So about a quarter of you. So there's a little over 100 people in here right now. So 25 to 30 of you are not doing this on a daily basis. I would invite you to do that because it'll do a few things. Firstly, it'll help you identify the breakers, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to go back through the day and you're going to find all the breakers that sent price in different directions, so you can start identifying them. You'll also start to see other breakers that didn't work. So you'll start to say, what are the parameters in which I will not take a breaker trade? So you see all of those things, and then you'll have those epiphanies, those moments where something just clicks, and it's different than me telling you. It's different than anyone else giving you some advice. It's just something clicks with you when you see the setup, to where then you can run with it yourself. So I was hoping that we would get a high percentage of people who are doing that, and 73%, that's really high. So I am pleased with that. But for the quarter of you that are not doing it, I would invite you to start. It will definitely have a major impact on your trading. And you don't have to trade the breaker setup the way I do. You can do the silver bullet, or you can do another style of trading. But whatever your style is, make a habit of going back through every day and finding all the points where, had you been aware of it in that moment, you could have taken an entry and it would have been a good trade for you. Yep. Okay. That's good, Shark. 1 minute breaker. I'm like, I'm not sure which one you're talking. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. We haven't traded higher and closed yet. Oh, we got the 79 and a quarter, but not to 180. You got to be kidding me. I think it'll still hit 180. The question is whether it'll put a body above or just a wick. Come on. Come on, M. You got to follow your rules. Your rules is the only way to become consistent. Got it, Slim. Ooh, look at that. 180, 90, and almost 200 all in 1 second. All right, well, there you have it. So, Pauletta, there you go. There's your 180. Hopefully you stayed in and was able to capitalize on that. Even if you got out early, you still was able to take price higher than the previous all-time high at 155. $193. Exactly. Your 193 worked at the exact same time at 180. All right, way to go. Good job. I'm glad for everyone who was on the winning side of that price run, from the time our afternoon session started until now. Congrats on your winnings. That was good to see. All right. Let's just do a quick recap of where we are in price structure. All right. So here on the far left, the dollar, we see it's still pushing lower. So it still has a bearish candle, even though it's pretty small, and it's been 20 minutes in this hour so far. So it hasn't retraced very much at all, but still showing bearish movement. We move over to the Dow. The Dow is bullish, but in a area where things could turn around or at least slow down for a bit. So we want to be a little cautious there. Same for S&P, bullish price movement, just like what we're seeing on Nasdaq, but it's running into an area where things could slow down or halt altogether. And of course, on Nasdaq, we're in all-time high territory, so there are no fair value gaps or anything to deal with. It just depends on how high price wants to move. So that's what we have for now. So we'll move back over and carry on. So with that being said, here was your silver bullet. $160 to $196. So yeah, over 35 points delivered so far. Oh, Pauletta, congratulations. I didn't see that right there. Congrats. Glad you got another one. Past 250s. All right. All right, Lakia. Congrats to you and Pauletta. And Shark for passing during this price leg, passing evaluations. Dow in a bearish breaker. Yeah, it is. I think it just confirmed it. Or at the end of this hour, it will confirm it. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Dow. Sorry, I'm looking at the dollar. Sorry, you said the Dow. Yeah, and you're right. The Dow is in a bearish breaker as well. That is what it's doing. It's trading up higher now, so it looks like it's going to tap into that breaker. And so it wouldn't surprise me if you start seeing the Dow trade lower. And also wouldn't surprise me if you saw S&P and Nasdaq doing the same thing. Okay, so S&P is pushing really hard. Let's see if it can make it up to its all-time high, which is 53.85. So it has a ways to go. Still another 12 handles. Okay, so tomorrow morning, if we are somewhere up in this area, then we're going to expect these highs to be ran and then price to shoot lower. If tomorrow morning we're trading lower, much lower, maybe even down here, we're going to expect for price to shoot down and then make its way back up. But it really depends on what happens between now and the news event tomorrow morning. Yeah, you're right, Malad. The Dow is pretty far away from an all-time high. Yeah, it's not even close. Needs to get up to 40K. It's currently trading at 38,760. Yep, this morning we got our hand tipped by Ray, one of the subscribers to the channel. He came in and said that Apple had reached its all-time high and was running, and that was during the morning session. So it kind of gave us an indication that we might be challenging our all-time high as well. Just took it another 3 or 4 hours to get there. Yep, whatever you do, do not have FOMO and try to get into a long now. Hey, S&P just traded through the fair value gap, the bearish one that it was trading inside of. So now it's above. We want to see if it closes out this hour there. So it's still another 30 minutes. But if S&P can close out there, then I think that its all-time high could be in jeopardy as well. And it's only 12 more handles above. So it just needs another 12. All right, good luck, Sports Hub. Yeah, without any type of reversal, then yes, I'm not interested in price right now. I'm not interested in taking any type of entry. Um, it really depends on your own style, Lakia. I would, if it was an A plus setup for me, right, I would just go and figure out where the stop loss needs to be to win the trade. And I would then decide where I wanted to enter and just wait there and put all of my contracts in at that time. Whether I wanted to take it at the very top of the breaker or whether I wanted consequent encroachment level of the breaker. So it just really depends. Yep. And I guess one of the reasons why I can say that, Lakia, is because I don't mind missing a setup. Like if I set my entry at consequent encroachment and price doesn't trade down to that and it takes off, right? I may be slightly upset that I didn't get in, but it's not going to ruin my day. It's not going to make me do anything differently. I'll just wait for the next setup because there is another setup at all times. Um, so as long as you don't have FOMO, then I say take your entry. If it's an A plus, take however many contracts you want where you start. Yep. Now look here, what you can do is what I just showed you here, where you take your first entry on this breaker, right? Price trades down, hits this breaker here, you're entered. Price starts trading up, this breaker here creates and then is confirmed. You can re-enter a second time here, but at least you're getting in at a level where you're not going to take too much drawdown. as opposed to somewhere in here where price is moving in your direction and you just add to your entry. Then price could trade back like here, trade it down, and now you're in drawdown. Whereas if you waited for this new breaker to be confirmed, hopped in somewhere in the middle of that breaker, whether it's consequent encroachment or fair value gap or somewhere where you're less likely to take deep drawdown, at least you're hopping in, you're adding to your position, and you don't see a lot of you don't see your profit going down tremendously. But then once it starts moving back in your direction, now you're gaining profit at twice the rate. It's the same thing. A new position is just the same thing as a new contract. So all it is price is trading higher, right? And you go in and you just say, all right, give me, whoops, not 15, but you go in and you say, all right, give me an extra order if it trades back down to here. When it's up here, you put in a buy limit here. So when it trades back down, it taps you in. Now you have a new order and it starts to take off away. Um, I only say that because if you're long and you're already in profit, if you take another long entry, like to add to your position, make sure you're doing it on a down close candle. So make sure you take a candle that's going downwards to add to a long. You don't want to add to a long as price is moving away from you. You want it to be coming back in because you're more likely to have exhausted most of the retracement when you take your position. If you get it when it's going away, it still needs to retrace. So it's yeah, during your back test, just make sure you look at that specifically so you can figure out how to add to a position as price is moving in your direction. One thing I really try to do is I try not to take super long entries. So I don't really look at a trade down here at 19,060 and think that I'm about to take it to 19,200 because there's so much that can happen in the middle of all of that that I'm usually looking for 25, 30 points, something like that. I've only been looking for 50 recently because I'm doing these performance evaluations and I'm looking to just get them over with quickly. But that's not my typical type of trade setup. I'm looking for something that's very repeatable, something that happens very regularly. When I see a breaker, I know I'm getting 25 points. I don't even have to worry about it going 25 points. If you're trying to get 100 points, oftentimes you can get up 50 and then it'll come all the way back. And you have to decide whether you exit or you stay in. So it's just, for me, it just works out better when I take smaller TPs. But during your back testing, your trading style, you'll figure out exactly what works for you. Oops. I almost lost track of price there. It's still running away from us. That was a really good question, Lakia. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, Ash, NVIDIA is not showing any signs of weakness. Okay, good to know. Well, Ash, it's great you have that opinion, but can you give us a reason why, as opposed to just throwing out a number 20K? Yeah, but you're asking Nasdaq to go up 5%. And are you talking about just overall, or are you talking about today? All right. And Ash, another thing, yeah, we're just day traders here, so we're not looking for the tops. We're looking for the top today, not the top overall, because we're not swing traders. All right, dollar is still pushing lower. So it's still showing weakness here. It is pushing close towards a fair value gap that it could find support in. So that could happen towards the end of this hour, heading into next. Okay, M, that sounds like a good strategy. Let's see, I said a 15-minute candle, okay, where it closes. So if we get a wick above and then the candle closes below, maybe we'll get a reversal, okay? We'll have the macro in about 7 minutes here, about 7. Mm. Oh, okay, I see what the 15 you were talking about here. Yep. Got 2 minutes left. We're going to see where that candle closes. Hey, what's going on, Daniel? the hourly. So we did get the 15-minute closure and closed below the high of the previous candle. So we'll see what that means, whether we continue higher or this is the push lower that we thought we might see. So it's now 2:45. We got 15 minutes and then we'll be in the power hour. We'll have another 70 minutes of trading. So about an hour and a half now remaining in our session this afternoon. Uh, Ivar, not at the current moment, they don't. But if you've never used Topstep before, if you click my link, you'll get an additional 20% off of whatever the current prices are. And today is the final day for the Apex promotion. All right, X trades. I think it might still be 29. I'm not sure. Let me see. Drop down to the 1 minute. We're getting into the macro now. So we've had that sweep of a low here on the 1 minute chart. We'll see if we push higher, making a little breaker here to get higher. Otherwise, then we'll see these equal lows swept and we'll see price move lower. It's right here. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Not sure what that's not the all-time high. $269, $321. I think that's a standard deviation, a long-term target that's been there for several weeks now. I think that's what that was at 269. All right, swept low once again. There's the CISD. Mhm. Yep. Yeah, I was hoping we get up to around 18,220, 18,215, something like that. We can get back up there, but we'll see. That would be ideal for me as far as the short. Kay Dorsey, I'm not sure what you're asking. Mm, I don't think so. So if you're speaking about a stop hunt, you said 212. Yeah, so in that case, I guess you're saying it ran these stops here, these equal lows, and then price is going to run higher. Mm, That's the only way this would be a stop hunt. We're actually looking to see if price wants to turn around and be bearish. And in that case, a stop hunt would be taking out highs. Yep. So if I'm looking for a bearish breaker, we first need to take a high. One of these highs needs to fall. And then I need to see a break lower. All right, we're a little bit over halfway through the macro here. Still looking to see if it wants to sweep a high and then crash lower. So it didn't take a high. Got almost there, but it didn't take it. Nope, it is currently not hidden. We do not have a breaker. We might be forming a bullish breaker because we have swept lows. If you're going to make a bearish breaker, you got to sweep highs. We haven't swept the high yet. These are our highs. There's one, and there's a third one. And I guess we can say this is a fourth one. Yep. So the Dow has already, in the first, was 8 minutes of this hour, has already taken the high of last hour. But we do know the Dow was trailing behind considerably, so it's probably just trying to catch up in price structure. So we may see Nasdaq consolidate a bit while the Dow catches up a bit. All-time high on S&P. Remember we said it's 53.85. We gotten as close as, I know before we were 12 points off, so we were at like 53.73. Now we've gotten as close as 53.81. Still another 4 handles. All right, we still didn't make a high here. Yep. Thanks for a reminder, Shark. This is Power Hour, everyone. So 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We're down to our last hour of trading this afternoon. All right, looks like it's going to take and make a new low here. And all the lows are doing is just really supporting trendline liquidity here, which is why I had the trend line before. I guess we could possibly use this one. Let's see. Mhm. News tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning, and then 2 and 2:30. FOMC is at 2 and the press conference at 2:30. All right, Marlene, catch you tomorrow. Take care. Johan, if you're ever confused, just zoom out. Just look at the time frame that you're on, and just start moving backwards until you get a more macro view of where price is, and then you won't be as confused. Mm. Missed tapping me in by half a point. I wanted it right here at 208 and a half. All right, Em, good job. Way to go. Give me 2 minutes. I'm just gonna go grab something to drink. I'll be right back. Yeah, Slim, it's probably best if you, after the session is over, go to YouTube and look up turtle soup. There will be plenty of YouTubers there who will explain everything that you're looking for in greater detail, and therefore you'll fully understand exactly what the setup is. It's probably hard for everything to be explained through text message or through the chat here. So it's probably best if you just go and review some live examples on YouTube on how to trade the turtle soup, or CISD, which is change in state of delivery. Go and look that up as well. And those concepts will be, you'll have a greater understanding. So then when you come back, it'll be a lot easier for someone to say, hey, the setup is here. And then you'll understand what it is. Yep. All right, Pauletta. Yes, we'll see you tomorrow. 9:15 tomorrow morning. We get started again. Oh, no problem. Glad you're appreciating and you're getting value from the sessions. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good evening. Yep, I've honestly just me being the host, I still have learned so much from the subscribers in this room daily, coming in and giving their analysis on what they see and why they take the setups they take. So I'm also benefiting from this as well. So glad that you're finding value as well. For the CPI report, you saying what's the forecast? Let's see, CPI forecast is 0.3%, which is the same as the previous. That's month over month. Year over year forecast is 3.4%, which is the same as last month. To have year over year 3.4%, month over month 0.3%. That's the forecast. So we'll see what that actually comes in at tomorrow morning at 8:30. And then the federal funds rate at 2 o'clock, they're projected to keep it the same at 5.5%. So we'll see also what that is. Oh, you got a fourth 250. All right, sweet. I have two so far. I was trying to get the third one this morning, and I'm sure I've said it 5 times already. I entered the wrong trade. Well, I entered with the wrong account, so I had to jump out, and then I missed my entry. But the one after lunch, I just completely missed that entry. I wasn't prepared, wasn't ready at 1 o'clock to jump in, so I wasn't able to get in that either. And we'll see if this one works out. I have an open limit order, but it hasn't tapped me in. So I'm starting to lose faith that it will. It's okay. There's always the future. There's trading every day. So if you start to pay more attention now or start to pick up on some of the concepts and trust your setup more, then those profits will come in the future. Yeah, if we sweep another low, then I'm going to drop my limit order and we'll just give it a shot tomorrow. Hey, what's up, Ray? Good afternoon. Nope, I didn't get paid today. I wish. Actually, well, let me take that back. I'm lying. I'm up 1,000 today. But I was hoping for much more. It's 70 likes. Let's see if we can get a few more. I can ask you guys to support the channel by clicking the thumbs up. It will be extremely helpful. Let's see if we can get to 100. We're down about 30 now. We need 30 more thumbs up. Gotta be kidding me. All right, I just tried to do a market execution and it just said rejected. So I'm not sure what that's all about. But maybe that means I shouldn't be entering the market here. So I will take that as a sign to watch for the rest of the afternoon. And this candle right here came up to one tick. I was trying to get in right at consequent encroachment, 208 and a half, and it came up to 208 and a quarter. So, oh well, I will take that as a sign that I should sit on the sideline. Nope, Sony did not tag me in. Did not tag me in. So, but it's all good. I'll just chill. I mean, I'm not in love with the setup that it took so long anyway. It was already kind of iffy anyway. And then even when it traded below, it just kind of lurked around for 30 minutes without doing very much at all. So it's not a problem. Not a problem. I'll take another setup tomorrow. Come every day. Rob, are you saying ES to follow NQ? NQ already took the all-time high. ES has not. Yeah, trachologist. That was Apex. I was trying to enter with. Mm, outside of U.S. market hour. I'm not really sure, Holly. I'll be honest with you. I don't pay as much attention to what happens outside of the market hours, outside of really like 8 o'clock in the morning until 1700. That's pretty much where I focus my attention. I do look to see what happened during London, but yeah, I can't really answer that. Yeah, I was thinking, Rob, I was thinking that ES would make it to the all-time high today. Not especially not Dow, but I was thinking ES would do it. But this last hour, all the indices have pretty much been looking like they wanted to be bearish, even though they seem to be relatively neutral. But I would lean bearish for them. So we'll see. That could actually be what happens tomorrow. Is because of that S&T, where only Nasdaq took its high, then we could see that ES will want to pull up there, and then that could happen tomorrow. Um, but there's nothing keeping it from now. I would just look and see if there's some sort of bullish price structure that leans you in that direction, and then yeah, maybe we'll see it in the next 5 minutes when we get to the macro at 350. And that would have tapped me in if I still had my limit order, but it's all good. $3 o'clock, we were at 210. That was the start of the hour. And right now, here almost at 350, we're at 205. So we're right back where we started pretty much. I love it when it does that. Right, right at the macro. All right, so we'll see if it wants these equal lows down here. All right, so we do have the inverse relationship operating at this moment. We have all three indices currently bearish for the hour. We have a bullish dollar at the moment. But only the Dow and the dollar are coming out of fair value gaps. We have S&P and Nasdaq. Well, Nasdaq is in price discovery, so there are no fair value gaps to bounce out of. But S&P also doesn't have any in this area. It's still trying to get up to 53.85, which is about 10 handles away to its all-time high. If it goes up for its all-time high, I'll imagine it'll take Nasdaq along for the ride. Yep. Yeah, especially since this thing just took forever and ever and ever to do anything. It waited all the way until 3:45 to show anything from 2:45. So yeah, it took an entire hour to just confirm a breaker, and it did so without any impulse. So pretty happy it didn't let me enter, and I'm glad I took that signal as a maybe I shouldn't do anything and should just sit on the sideline. Mm-hmm. Yep. So the high is here at 232. All-time high has now been broken again. And S&P still hasn't made it up there yet. So no telling where we're going to actually go. Yep. Yeah, it's programmed extremely well. There's no doubt about it. Sure, as soon as we start to get an edge and the winning percentages change, then they make some altered, they alter the code probably to shift things just a little bit to get their edge back. And we're approaching 4 o'clock. We got about 2 minutes left. And there's a new high there. All right, ES is on its move. Made it up to 53.82 now. 3 more handles. But we also see a bullish dollar at this time. It's so late in the game now that the fact that they're not correlated doesn't really matter at this point. We got another 10 minutes left to trade. So they're just doing whatever they need to do to close out their chart for the day. Not a lot happening on the Dow, so I'm not sure if anyone trades that. All right, Nasdaq has picked up 50 points on this price leg. Another half a point, and ES will have taken all-time high. It went 385 and a quarter, so 1 tick away from the all-time high. You're right, Rob. I hope it doesn't leave it there. If it does, that's gonna be too easy to target tomorrow. Brian, yes, there is a breaker. Whenever you get a price move, there's always going to be a breaker, so you can always find it. Here on the 1 minute, it's basically 320, 320 to 325 roughly. But you didn't get a confirmation that this was a breaker until here at 346. This is when you got a confirmation that it traded back in and out. We can see now we have this bullish fair value gap here. This was just confirmed right when 3 o'clock closed out just 2 minutes ago. So this popped up on our screen, which now makes it look a lot easier as far as supporting price, whereas before that wasn't there. Yep, the whole time I thought we were going to trade lower, so this wouldn't have even shown up. But price didn't want to do that, and it spent the last half of the hour just consolidating. And so then that confirmed the fair value gap at 4 o'clock. So when we got up here, then it popped in. All right. Any final questions or comments today before we end our session? We got another 6 minutes. Let's see if we can't get 100 likes on the stream today. We need 17 more. We can get 17 people to click the thumbs up. All right, 15 more. All right, Luke, catch you tomorrow. All right, lucky 12. Let's see if we can get 12. Okay, I came 2007. No problem. Glad you're here. Welcome to the channel. I think this is the first time I've seen you in the chat. Hope to see you again. Say hello next time you join. And that goes for everyone. When you join the chat, don't be afraid to say hello. Say hello, introduce yourself. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if after we end the session today, it then goes and takes that all-time high on S&P. Just because. Triple C, actually, my entry would have been a losing one. I was trying to get a short. Yeah, I was trying to get a short from, I think it was 208. Somewhere 208 and a half is what I was trying to get. And I tried to get it on this candle right here that only went to 208 flat. It didn't go to 208 and a half. And then I tried to do market execution and it rejected my order. And so I just said, screw it. And I canceled my limit. It would have tapped me in here. So I would have been in profit for a little while, but it ended up turning around. What has it done since 11? Only thing it's done since 11 is, yeah, 4 consecutive hour bullish candles, reached and made a new all-time high. It's done quite a bit, J-Stop. All right, Brian, catch you tomorrow. Yep. All right, Malad, catch you tomorrow. Thanks again for all that you do. Appreciate you being here. All right, Lakia, catch you tomorrow. All right, everyone. I think that'll do it for today's session. I want to thank you all for being here and for your participation. The questions were good as well, so thank you for interactive live stream this afternoon. We will break from here and we'll catch everyone tomorrow morning at 9:15. Remember, tomorrow's going to be quite an eventful day, so if you trade pre-market, CPI is released early, so just keep that in mind. CPI is coming out at 8:30, so the market will likely be quite volatile before we even start our session. And then we have the opening bell. And then in the afternoon, we have news at 2 o'clock, press conference at 2:30, most likely some type of reversal or something around 3. So the afternoon is going to be eventful as well. With that being said, on your way out, make sure you click the thumbs up. We need 10 more to get to 100. Hopefully we can get there. Click the thumbs up on your way out. And if you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you become a subscriber. I will talk to everyone tomorrow. Take care. Enjoy.